Hello and welcome back to the Neat Nest. Today we're going to talk about how to organize all the toys. Hey guys, I am sitting in the playroom today and just wanted to give you a little tour and show you how we keep our playroom all nice and tidy, and hopefully give you some tips and tricks and some ideas of how to organize your playroom too. So I'm not gonna lie, the playroom was one of the very last areas in our home that I actually organized and got put together. And I think that's because sometimes it's most difficult to organize for other people. My kids are the ones that are playing with these things the majority of the time. And so I wanted to make sure that I was organizing it in a way that made sense for them, but also still looked nice. So that took some time to really stop and observe and put myself in their shoes, to see how they interacted with different things so that I could organize them to be the most beneficial for them. So if I was organizing this for myself, I would probably let my OCD go crazy and color coordinate everything and make everything matchy, and it would just be, just so aesthetically pleasing for me, and it would be great. But that's not how my kids play, and so I had to come up with a different solution. So since I am in this space a lot, I wanted it to be a place that I could actually hang out in and not want to vomit from all of the primary colored things surrounding me. So I chose a color palette that was pretty neutral, black and white, as you can see, because let's be honest, the toys speak for themselves and are colorful enough. As a realtor, I have a lot of clients who on their want and need lists for a home say that a playroom is an absolute must-have. And here's the thing, guys. I want all of you to know that you don't necessarily need to dedicate an entire room for the toys. A playroom doesn't have to be a room. There are lots of creative ways to carve out spaces within your home for the toys, and there's lots of ways to organize them. And as soon as you have a designated spot for all of the toys, you're good to go, and your kids are gonna love it and they're gonna have fun, and you won't be tripping over them all over your house. All right, so let's just go ahead and dive right in, shall we? So in my house, we really do have a room that's dedicated to toys. And I really like that. But if you don't have a room in your house dedicated for toys, you can, like I was saying before, carve out any little niche, use these organizational systems, and I think it'll work just as great for you as well. So when we first moved in, this was just a room, a usual room, and there were toys everywhere all over the floor. And I really quickly realized that to get the most out of this room, I was gonna have to use the vertical spaces to leave more floor room to actually play. So that's exactly what I did. I think we went to IKEA to get some bookshelves that we ended up mounting on the wall. We had a friend help us build this bench thing here with open space underneath so that I could fit things under there as well. And it's really made a huge difference. We have a ton of floor space now, and we still have spots for all of the toys. So as I mentioned before, our whole playroom used to be just covered in toys with very little organization. And so after I observed the way that they played with things and the things that they played with together, I was able to sort all the toys into like categories. And from there, I had a pretty good idea of how much space I needed for those items. And then I went out and purchased bins that I thought could accommodate the needs of those toys. So here are some of the categories that I picked, and as you can see, there's different sized bins for different things, just depending on their size and how many of those things we had. So Play-Doh and puppets, I have some smaller bins for. Blocks, I have a big pail that can easily be dumped out. And then pull toys and shape sorters have bigger bins because those are bigger things, and I needed bigger bins to accommodate that. And then I decided to just go ahead and leave the books out so that the kids have easy access to those. On the other side here, same kind of concept, different sized bins to accommodate whatever I needed to put into them. So sidewalk chalk and action figures and animals are all in kind of smaller bins, and then I have a bigger bin of electronic stuff that makes noise, earphones, stuff like that. And then I left the bottom two cabinets open for bigger size things that don't really fit in bins, but that my kids use a lot. Along the bottom, I like to keep bigger bins that have things that are a little more heavy, things that I don't want to fall on my kids' heads. And as you can see, I label most of the bins, and I do this because I think it's a good way to help our kids read, and also when sitters are here, it makes it easier for them to know where everything goes at cleanup time. Some bins require very little organization at all. You can dump it all in and it's good to go, like trains and cars. Some bins require a bit more attention and organization. The puzzle bin in our house is one of those things. I place all of the puzzle pieces in a labeled Ziploc bag and put that inside the bin, and the puzzle backs I stack next to the bin of puzzle pieces. For puzzles without backs, I simply place all of the pieces inside a labeled Ziploc bag. For Lego sets that seem to have a bajillion different pieces, I simply place the Lego manual in the front of a Ziploc bag and then put the Lego pieces for that set inside the Ziploc bag, zip it up, and place it in our Lego bin. To maximize the space in the playroom, I decided to remove the closet doors completely and place a curtain rod with curtains. On the top of the closet, I keep bins of things that I don't want the boys to get down without my help, such as the paints, the glue, the glitter, all the messy stuff. On the top shelf of the closet, I also keep 2 file bins, one for each of the boys. This is where I put keepsakes and some of my favorite artwork of theirs. I use hangers to hang up my favorite large Ziploc bags filled with train tracks and other large items. On the bottom, I have 2 large bins, one for dress up and one for sports stuff. So on this wall over here, I decided to paint it with some chalkboard paint, which I love. The boys love it. They can go crazy, draw whatever they want. We had some target practicing going on here with some Nerf guns earlier today, so that's why we have targets on here. But anyways, the boys love it, and I love it, and it's just really nice and fun. I found these little bins in the kitchen aisle of IKEA. Actually, they're used to hold kitchen utensils, but I just hung it at a really low height, and that's where their chalk and their erasers live, and that works out really good. And then up here, I just hung a magnetic strip that I think I found at the Container Store, so that we can display all of their artwork. Kids really like when their artwork is displayed. They find a huge sense of gratification from that. And I was kind of sick of all of the clutter all over our fridge. And then we actually ended up getting a fridge that is not magnetic at all. So I needed to find a solution. So I found this magnet strip, and it has worked out fabulous for us. We love it. I get to see all of their pretty artwork, and they do too. So another little thing that I use to help organize stuff in the playroom is actually a magazine rack. I think I found it at Office Max or something like that. Anyways, I just hung it on the wall, and this is where all the coloring books live. Over-the-door shoe organizers are my jam because they take advantage of the vertical space on the back of doors. We use ours in the playroom to organize crayons, markers, and colored pencils, but you could use this for a variety of things, including crafts or Barbie dolls. Pretty much anything that you can think of could be organized with a shoe organizer. Over here, I have like a little magnet station set up for the boys. These were also on our fridge, but once we got a fridge that was not magnetic anymore, I needed a place to put their magnets. These are fun for toddlers to play with. If you guys have toddlers, I'm sure you know. So I actually just got a piece of sheet metal from the hardware store, painted it white, and glued it to the wall, and it has worked out perfect for us. The boys love it, and it's cute, and it makes use of vertical space, which I'm a huge fan of too. That's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for joining me in the playroom. I hope that you were able to pick up some tips and tricks of how to organize your play space. Like I mentioned before, you don't have to have an actual designated room. If you can just carve out a little bit of vertical space in your house and designate a space for everything, life is good. Please like and share and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see more of these videos. I really hope you guys have a beautiful day. From our little nest to yours, stay neat.